Hey guys, so I obviously haven't uploaded in a while, and I could get further into that, but honestly, I just took a break for myself. When I started YouTube like 10 years ago, my ultimate goal was never to make a career out of it. It was almost a way of connecting to other people with similar interests of my own. Also, when I was in my early teens, I started off in the modeling industry, which, by the way, was a very superficial industry to be in, and it took a really hard toll on my confidence, I should say. So I went through a liver operation when I was 19, and modeling suddenly came to a very fast halt, because, to make it short, because this is not what this video is about, it's because I have a scar about like 12 inches right here on my abdomen where they removed half my liver, and the photographers and companies were insistent on photoshopping the scars out. Now, to me, trying to come to terms with or myself and feel confident in myself, I didn't agree with that tactic. I wanted to accept myself for who I was and not hide insecurities. I think as you become an adult, that becomes so much more important to you. So that's how I started YouTube. It was just another way of getting out there, and talking to other people with similar, like I said, similar interests. But anyways, that's not what this video is about. That's just why I haven't been uploading much. Like I said, it was never meant to be like a career like some other YouTubers, but it was just more, like I said, to vent, relate to people going through similar issues and liking similar things. Now, the reason for my video today is mainly that two things, and the first being most important, so I'll get to that first because some people won't want to watch this video all the way through. The first being is this whole YouTube trend about mental illness. Now, I find it quite bizarre how many people are starting to discuss being a sociopath, just by simple things. It's like, yeah, sociopaths exist, but you can't diagnose that just by like observing somebody. It's impossible. Even with a therapist that doesn't know the patient, just following around somebody and trying to figure out if they're a sociopath is very impossible. To come to that diagnosis, it requires so many professionals. You need to see a psychiatrist, not a therapist, psychiatrist. You need to see, psychologists, people that were actually have a medical license with the ability to not only diagnose, but to help that patient in terms of medication or rehabilitation, or just, recommend them to a therapist that specializes in that certain mental illness. Now, the only reason I took interest in this is because the same thing happens with almost every mental illness. And I myself suffer from mental illness as well. And the ones that I suffer with are PTSD. And there's a new version of PTSD called CPSD, which again, it's another thing that no one should be discussing or criticizing or assuming unless, the patient themselves have actually gone to the appropriate people over a period of time for observation, for diagnosis, and for treatment. CPSD is basically like PTSD is categorized, if you do research, as a traumatic event that causes the person to have, stress, anxiety, panic, reliving that event over and over again. A lot of times people that go to war, or a lot of our veterans and stuff, go through this exact thing, and it's a terrible thing to go through. But what CPSD or CPTSD, it's a mouthful, is basically a version of that, but it's more categorized into long-term trauma. So it's not a specific event causing issues. It's a long-term event causing major issues that can be right away or for some people, or it can come, it can last 10, 20 years for other people. A lot of times this is categorized as people that were kidnapped or, long-term sexual abuse, long-term physical abuse, long-term mental abuse, anything that makes someone feel like they're trapped in their own situation. I think CPTSD is more common in females because of the sexual abuse, but males are just as prone to this, and it happens to everybody. So even though statistics state one thing, I do disagree. I think everybody is prone to it. So yeah, that is something I am in treatment for. As a child, I did go through a long, period of sexual and physical abuse by family that wasn't blood related, if you can connect the two. It was family at the time, but they were not blood related to me, the two individuals. Now, the one individual, the male, did get justice. We went to court and everything was sorted out. But the problem is that I was so young. At the time I went to court, I was probably 11. So, all of this was too much to handle. So there comes in something called dissociative identity disorder, meaning that the trauma was too hard to handle. So I had a defense mechanism and a coping mechanism where I basically pretended it didn't happen. My conscious mind shoved it back into my subconscious so that I didn't have to deal with it. And then, more and more events happen. The physical trauma also got shoved back there. The liver operations got shoved back there. And multitude of other scenarios, my father passing got shoved back there. And, someone can't get help until they've accepted they have a problem. And it's something I'm very passionate about figuring out now. Because you do start to realize how much it makes like a major impact on like your relationships and your ability to function. So anyways, my basic thing is that everybody has a problem and you can't judge a book by its cover. Now, and you shouldn't be so quick to make accusations to somebody about you can't just say like, oh, that person seems like they don't care, so they must be a sociopath, or that person, is terrible in relationships, they must have borderline personality. It doesn't work that way. No individual can diagnose another individual without any sort of like, professional consult and treatment. It's just impossible. So I don't know why all this stuff and accusations are being thrown around YouTube. It's just bizarre. And then my second point is that yes, I have stopped uploading. I honestly haven't even gone onto my YouTube channel anytime recently, but I just had logged back in, and I was noticing a lot of comments on a few of my videos where they're accusing me of, because I wore like a bandeau and a low-cut shirt with nothing exposed, they're saying that I purposefully wore something provocative, which to me was just trendy, and what I felt comfortable in. And they're saying that I was using that as a tactic to draw men into my videos, which is so bizarrely wrong. What I was wearing was what everybody else was wearing, and the fact that I just wore it in a video doesn't seem right. And I see a lot of people getting the same criticism. It's like, if you have a slight amount of cleavage showing, guys start leaving comments saying like, oh, like your boobs, your tits, your all this stuff. And it's like that, okay, I'm not saying that guys get a pass, but like that is less, I don't know, it doesn't stick out so much to me as the females doing it. It's like I 100% will say without a doubt, I am not a feminist in any way, shape, or form. I think that males and females are all equal and no one should be attacking the other gender at all. And but I do see females, when this whole feminist movement is going on, attacking other females for that exact same thing, saying like, oh wow, you're just wearing a low-cut shirt so guys will come to your videos. Like, girls need to stop attacking other girls. And I mean, as much as I think guys should stop sexualizing women, I just think it's even worse when a female attacks another female simply because she has like an inch and a half of cleavage showing, or is wearing a bandeau with a low-cut shirt showing a tiny bit of her stomach. That's just bizarre to me, and it needs to stop. It's like, ugh, it blows my mind. And that's a big reason why. It's like I took a break from YouTube. Back in the day, 10 years ago, it was fun. We could play with makeup and people could be like, oh, I love that. Like, show me how you apply it. It was all fun. There was no criticism. And, you know, some people might say like, oh, I didn't like what the product that you use, but that's fair game. But to be attacking somebody's outfit when they're talking about a serious topic is just pathetic and low. And I just think it just turns me off of like YouTube and social media like as a whole, because I should be able to wear whatever I want and feel good in what I'm wearing while I'm filming a video. And that's just the bottom line. So yeah, my message in this video is basically to try to educate yourself before accusing somebody of having some type of mental disorder. And even after educating yourself, just know that you cannot call somebody or diagnose somebody. You just can't, unless you have a medical license and you're trained to do so. And yeah. Anyways, guys, have a good day. I obviously just took a shower and need to blow dry my hair ASAP. All right, guys, have a good day.